Saffron cultivation has come through a history of many years in our country, and for now saffron cultivation has turned to intense while the Afghan immigrants returned to Ghorian district Herat province. Considering Afghanistan climate conditions, saffron needs less water than normal and the farmers pick saffron flowers for several years by one period of cultivation. The saffron farmers are much interested to cultivate saffron because it is easier to transfer to anywhere, no need of heavy agriculture machines and has good earnings. Saffron is a semi-tropical plant and it is grown in the regions with normal cold in winters and warmer and dry in the summers. This plant is resistant enough against the cold weather, but during its growth that relates to cold seasonal time on the ground, it needs normal weather. Saffron can endure at the minimum of -18 centigrade and maximum +40 centigrade. Where to grow saffron? Although saffron can be grown and fertilized in most of the grounds, but it cannot be cultivated in the grounds those contain gravel, weeds, shaded grounds, tree-full grounds, and rice grass fields. The field those are chosen for saffron cultivation should have normal lighter soil, rich in soil elements, paved and nurtured, should have open space and accessibility to water sources. Preparation of the field for the cultivation. In the preparation time for saffron cultivation, very special attention should be paid. In the autumn or winter season, the saffron field should be ploughed 25 to 30 centimeters deep. After the spring seasonal rain and trolling the field, 8 to 16 tons of manure fertilizer is incorporated to each hectare of ground. And then the ground is again ploughed for better mixture of soil with supportive element. Plotting the field. For watering saffron in field in the best way, the field should be plotted. The measurement of the plots should be designed according to the slope of the field and power of the water. Usually plots are measured up to 5 to 10 and 6 to 10 rectangle meters. Collecting and storing saffron bulbs from June till October. It is the season to collect saffron bulbs and the fair time to collect, but it is best to collect saffron bulbs in June and July because saffron bulbs reposes in this time. While collecting saffron bulbs, the ground should be dry and very expert farmers should pick up the bulbs with hand in a mild weather. And immediately after collecting, the bulbs should be stored in a cool place away from sunlight on the ground in a height of 20 centimeters. Selecting saffron bulbs for cultivation. Saffron is only cultivated or produced through its bulbs, although saffron bulbs can be cultivated in any size and weight. But for better harvesting, few points should be considered, like the weight of the bulb should not be less than 6 grams. Second, the bulb should not be pucker. Third, it should be devoid of any infection and no signs of damage on the bulb. Each productive saffron bulb gives an average of 3 more bulbs annually and finally decays itself. Sorting saffron bulbs. Saffron bulb has the brown fibrous cover, hence if saffron bulbs were not separated or cleared from its cover while cultivating, that would grow with delay. So it is necessary to clear the saffron bulbs from the cover in a button-shaped tissue which is at the lower of the bulb. It is quite necessary to clean saffron bulbs from the extra weeds, infected saffron bulbs and other harmful plants. How to disinfect the bulbs? To prevent saffron bulbs from fungal infection, after sorting of the bulbs, they should be disinfected by Sarisan. 350 grams of Sarisan is enough for 100 kilograms of saffron bulbs. Saffron cultivation. Saffron is cultivated in June till October, and the best time for saffron cultivation is June in the first week of July. In this time saffron bulbs repose well. We can retake them from one field and cultivate them to another field. The other point is the cultivation method. To prevent problems while picking up saffron flowers in field reforming, it is better to cultivate bulbs in rows. The distance between bulbs should be 5 to 10 centimeters and 25 to 30 centimeters between rows and 15 to 20 centimeters deep in the ground, which depends on the drastic cold or hot climate. It should be considered to keep the sprout side of the bulb upward. When the cultivation happens in summer during June, July and August, therefore, we must prevent the ground cracks and gaps in hot seasonal cultivation period. The fields should be troweled well. After the troweling, the fields should be left to normal, and then the fields should be fully watered in the last week of September for 5 days. If the saffron cultivation happens in September, immediately saffron fields should be fully irrigated. The benefits of manure: it's the amount and usage. Animal fertilizer is much important in reforming and fertility of the soil and increases the saffron production. Manure should be purified and separated from weeds and gravels. The amount of 5 to 8 tons of manure should be incorporated with the fields for every 2 to 3 years, and we should make soil in 3 parts. First part for manure and the 2 other parts are soil. The field should be totally cleaned and cleared from every useless element like weeds, gravels and etc. This should happen before the irrigation, not after that. Field irrigation. The first irrigation is very important, so the farmers should consider it seriously. If the first irrigation happens before the right time, saffron leaves and then bulbs come out. That would make saffron cultivation and bulbs weak and difficult to pick up the flowers. As well as if the irrigation happens late, then bulbs would grow later and they would face frigidity. These all situations bring much negative effects on the scale of the quality and quantity of saffron production. Therefore, to prevent any deficiency and specify the right time of irrigation, in the mid of October, few sample bulbs should be evoked from different areas and checked. Wearing clean clothes are obligatory. Covering hair is necessary, especially for women. All the kits and tools used in the collection process must be clean and standard. In order to avoid influence of external materials into saffron flowers, hence chemical reflection must not be applied. During the transferring of saffron flowers, standard plastic basket should be used, not plastic bags. Saffron storing area and place should be clean, neat and secured from dust, pollution and all insects. Saffron collecting process. Saffron flowers should be picked up in a standard plastic basket before the sunrise. Saffron flowers should be picked up with all concentration, and the later flower buds should not be picked up. If any delay happens to the collecting process of saffron flowers, the quality will decrease and probably some disease may harm the saffron flowers. Irrigation, plowing, troweling and other fertilizers should not be applied to the fields while collecting saffron flowers. Transferring and storing saffron flowers. Saffron flowers should be transferred from the field to the storing place using the standard plastic baskets with no pressure or weight on the flowers to the processing unit. Before the flower separating process, it should be kept in a dry, cool and clean place away from sunlight at a distance of 20 centimeters above the ground and 25 to 30 centimeters in distance from another basket. Separating saffron filaments and flowers. Saffron flower has 3 sepals, 3 similar petals along with 3 red filaments inside the flower. The separation process of saffron requires much more delicacy, therefore the delicate and patient staff should be assigned for this processing. The method is varied to hold the flower in the left hand, cut out the saffron petals, separate the red filaments with yellow stamens 2 mm away, and then place them in the specific box to dry it. Separating the red filaments from the yellow stamens depend on the varieties and different qualities of saffron. Drying saffron. Saffron is dried through many methods in our country. We would mention few usual methods. First, drying saffron by electric machines. There are few kinds of electric machines for drying saffron. The manual electric machine, automatic machine and other kinds. Whenever you use a simple electric machine to dry saffron, first we need to put 200 grams of fresh saffron into the sieve and place it on the electric machine under temperature of 60 to 70 degrees centimeter, and the adjusted temperature should remain till saffron gets dried properly. Machine should be on to distribute the heat equally to all the parts of machine. However, the drying duration of saffron depends on the sort of machine. To ensure that saffron is dry, squeeze a piece of saffron with fingers. If it breaks, that shows it is dry. If not, then it should be kept for more time to get it dry. Drying method with sieve. Drying saffron by sieve is also useful in simple method. In this method we need a sieve, soft cloth, stove and charcoal. Oak charcoal does not smoke and it does not harm the perfume of saffron. After igniting the charcoal, put the stove on a reasonable place, put the cloth and the sieve and put 100 to 200 grams of saffron into the sieve and then hold the sieve above the heating charcoal with both hands. For understanding the heat temperature, we need to hold back of our hand above the stove for the assumption of 60 to 70 degrees heat. Then slowly rotate the holding sieve above the stove to dry all the saffron. Keep on changing the holding place of sieve. Hence, in this method we can dry saffron in 20 to 25 minutes. Cooling the dry saffron. After the drying saffron, it is required to put saffron for 20 to 25 minutes on clean cotton to make it cool. Cleaning and sorting the dry saffron. Cleaning saffron from extra items like leaves, pieces, flowers, brushwood, gravels, hair, and bread pieces and other insects, which make saffron much valuable and qualified. Therefore, we need to put some 50 to 75 grams of dry saffron in a glass or metal pot and remove all the extra items with a little pinch. For making saffron the same measurement, it is necessary to separate the weak and little pieces of saffron. The clean and dry saffron should be kept in glass and aluminium pot and store them in a cool, dry place away from sunlight till the packing process.